Welcome, welcome, everybody. This is the CyphaDen chat. I'm your host, Tayamu Denko. I got my homie Pestilence with me. And tonight, very special guest, creator of the throwback gem, Nacrobats, part of the Electric with DJ Vadim. Pugs Atomz in the house. What's going on, bro?
What up, man? Happy to be here. What's the word?
Yeah, man. It's crazy. You would think I would have more guests from Chicago since I'm literally right next door in Milwaukee, but I have not had many Chicago guests on the podcast. Like I think you might be the fourth, which is crazy because we've done like with the combination of podcasts I've done since the pandemic. That's what got me started in the podcast shit because I was, you know, we were at home for that long time and then I jumped into the podcast realm. But yeah.
So
So this is
you've had zero on the Denku then, because we've had four on.
I've not had any on the Denku podcast. No, nope. So yes,
Uh,
but yeah, man. So I want to go way back though, since I know of the Nacrobats. I think I have like the Nacrobats collective projects. Like I want to know how that the very beginning of that.
Okay. I started the crew around the Christmas of '93. So like the turn of the new year, I went back to school and was like, "This is my idea," you know. But at the time, I had like a graffiti crew, and that graffiti crew became Nacrobats. And then I started to put down like rappers. So like the first rappers that I put in the crew was PK and this kid Panel.
Hmm.
And we were at Kenwood Academy, and it just, each year it grew, you know what I mean? So maybe the first year you're talking about maybe 10 people, second year you're talking 20 people, third year you're talking like 50 people. And, to the point it became like 200 kids from Sauk Village to Evanston. So, I mean, a pretty long reach, across the different parts of Chicago and the edge of Indiana.
That's what's up, man. Wow, 200. I didn't know it was that big. I didn't know it was like I knew of I knew Sam was down. Uh I knew Taiwan Davis.
Yeah, that's like all the people towards the end. So around, what's that, maybe 2002, 2001, end of 2001, beginning of 2002.
Hmm.
It was figuring out, a new way to present it where it would be like the same people every show. And
Hmm.
that's how like it was Psalm, Taiwan, Infinito 2017, and Cosmo Galactus with DJ Noble at that time. But the crew was all encompassing. So it was people that just threw parties that was in the crew. It was, as I said before, it was a graffiti crew, what kicked it off. So we had tons of different writers, within the crew. And then you had, poets, you had break dancers, and then you had crews that did all those different things or just did one of those things as well. So it wasn't just you got in, it's like your whole crew was in.
That's dope.
So
So it almost kind of sounds like the Chicago version of like the Rocksteady crew almost, something like that.
kinda. I would say Shot Rock would probably be more like that. I would
Mm,
say ours is a little bit later. So I mean we got to, touch other things.
yeah. That's dope, man. So you started out as a graffiti artist then? Like before anything
Yeah,
else?
yeah. I would say that was like the first thing I had success at. Like I had tried to record like an album in maybe seventh grade, eighth grade, and I started writing around the same time. But graffiti was way more fun.
You got a
And
crate. You got a crazy graffiti story, bro, from way back in the day.
I mean, I got a whole album about it, man. Playing with matches. You go on Bandcamp, you can hear it all, man.
And that talks about all the crazy experiences of your
Yeah, yeah. And I
graffiti days.
recorded, yeah, yeah, because my story is one of those stories, man. But it's got featuring a lot of the scene, international and specifically Chicago in the mix of me telling my story.
That's what's up, man. And you've done murals there. How long does it usually take you to do a mural? Like when you get
Uh,
hired to do that?
it just all depends, on the scale. You know what I mean? So for instance, we just went out to Ogden, Utah to do something at this like a YMCA center, but it
Mm.
was dedicated to like one of the first black policemen, doctor, veteran, freedom fighter. He did like everything. I want to say Walter White, but I can't quite remember. But yeah, that one was like maybe 20 feet high by maybe 40 feet long. And that took about 2 weeks.
That's
So I
what's
mean, it
up.
just really depends on the size. And then, what's being asked. Like with that one, we got like mosaics mixed in with the painting.
That's dope, man. Um, my homie from out in Burlington, he actually used to paint uh, 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 food trucks. Have you done food trucks? Have you painted food trucks?
I think I painted like a bus that like gave out free food type thing, like a farmer's market on wheels.
Oh,
I think we
word.
painted one of those, yeah.
That's what's up, man. Um,
But I mean,
I
I've been painting since the beginning. Like I
yeah,
started painting like around 7. You know what I mean? My mom was a painter. So like I always did that. That was just kind of part of it. But again, graffiti was way more fun and it was people my age. Same with
Mhm.
rapping. It was people my age. Whereas like with the painting, like I got my first big break in like 1998, 99, painting and like all the graffiti in the movie Light It Up and being able to like dress the character and like how would I walk, how would I talk to my homies. I did this whole piece book, like one of those wow, everything's coming together. But with the money I got from that, I started to put out Nacrobat stuff seriously. Yeah.
Bro, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't even know that you did that, and that's insane to me because I I like that movie.
Mm.
I had no idea. I'm actually uh so I'm part of 100 Mad, which is Onyx's label. So I'm like cool with Fredro and shit. And I didn't, yeah, I guess it's just like a full circle moment for me just now because like I know he was in that movie and now knowing that you did the paintings that were
Yeah, it was
featured
like
in,
Usher, Forrest Whitaker, old girl from Roseanne, a
yeah,
few other people. Yeah, Rosario Dawson. Everybody was super nice, man. Yeah.
that's dope, man. Peso, you got something?
Yeah, so you're talking about like the crew expansion thing. I'm always curious because seems like crews are kind of like hand in hand with hip hop. Like almost everybody that does it long enough ends up finding themselves down with some sort of crew. And I've seen like a pretty wide array of like what that actually means, from basically being nothing but a title to like, like yeah, the crew that I'm in with Denku and the other crew that I'm in, like we're very hands-on with each other as far as creating stuff. Everybody kind of uses their skills to help each other in different ways, and we kind of work together. So like, how did that evolve as you guys went from like a small clique of dudes that you started it with to like expanding to, like you said, like 200 people? How does that role change for somebody that's like down with the crew? How does that being down with the crew change as it gets bigger like that?
It just really depended on you. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I would have meetings almost every other Saturday downtown. So it's kind of like if you pop through one of those, you would have your network. Because I used to give out like a sheet of paper that had everybody's like number and what they did in like a coded way. So if like we found the paper, you wouldn't know what it meant. But that was kind of like your yellow pages of like I want to record, I want to go paint, I want to, go to the radio, like all those things you could get from this list.
Oh,
And
okay.
that became like, the connector in that sense. But again, I said, put down crews as well. So you weren't just in it. You had, a few teammates most times. I mean, a few people were like solo dolo that got down, but most people, had some crew from their neighborhood. So it was made it easier, for people to move if they couldn't come, because I mean, again, we're all like between the ages of 14 and 20.
Okay. So you were creating a bigger network for everybody essentially that wanted to tap into that and that was willing to take advantage of that. Like, you might have a crew of, graph writers on this side of town that want to do something, and then you got a crew of rappers on this side of town that want graffiti in their shit. Now they're connected through your network.
Yeah, but most of us wrote. So I mean, yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean, at that time you kind of did everything. You weren't really, it wasn't so like you do this, you do that. It was just hip hop. So
Man,
it's like
that's
as people started to excel, then it been like, all right, you should probably be a rapper. You should probably be a piece of, it evolved to that later. Yeah.
man, that's super dope, man. I wish something like that existed in more places. Um, there was nothing really that extensive in Milwaukee as far as I know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's like circles of people, but everyone's kind of out for themselves. Nobody really
Mm-hmm.
helps build each other up or build, you know what I'm saying? I mean, clearly
Yeah, no, no, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, again, my background was very like community
yeah.
involved. So most things I did, it wasn't just for me. Growing up, places I'm working, it's not just for me, it's for the whole community. So I definitely, put that part in whatever I'm doing. Like, I mean, if you look at my track record of albums, track record of art, track record of clothing, whatever it is, it's all
Yeah.
collaborative. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. The first time I ever saw you rock a stage, it was either Loyola or um Northwestern. It was one of those two. I I was in a crew called Wastelands at the time, and we randomly went to a random show. And when we walked in the door, you and Prime, this was probably 2000, 2001 maybe or something like that. And you and Prime were on stage freestyling uh, about people's what people were holding up. And then after y'all rocked, Juice closed out the night or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first time I ever saw you rock on stage and kind of more grew into knowing more about the Chicago scene because
Mm-hmm.
I always loved hip hop. I've been rhyming since probably 12, but I didn't really dive into deep history shit until I got into college. Really, like probably 2000 is when I really dove into shit, and then we would start going to a bunch of shows. But that's the first time I saw that shit, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it. I started freestyling before I started writing, but seeing that actually made me want to start doing that shit, and I'm pretty sure I started doing object. I do different shit now, but I also still do object shit. But I think that object shit, seeing y'all do that, is what made me want to start doing it at shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
Um,
us, a lot of times, those kind of things you would do just so people understood what it was. You know what I mean? Because for us, we really nerded out on freestyling. You know what I mean? Like we would do it every day. I mean, me and Prime would be playing like House of Blues and freestyle the whole set. You know what I mean? And then, I mean, we would battle, at the point in Hyde Park in Chicago during those times. And I mean, it got so ridiculous. We would like pick two rappers and take their styles, then battle each other with the styles. So I'm saying like overkill. Yeah.
yeah, man. Yeah, I just I miss those times, man. I know we're all older now, but I just I just miss those times. It's a different time now. I mean, clearly things change, but I just loved that era
Yeah,
of the
nah.
of
I
this
mean, to
like
be
the
that age and to see it,
like
yeah.
this like the cipher era, the freestyle battle era. Like it's different now, and I know shit evolves and shit gets different. I understand all that, but being a part of that and being around that during that time was like a special thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you could just walk up into it. You know what I mean? You could get off the train. You could be in front of a venue. You could be at the movies. Like it just was anywhere was fair game. I mean, I definitely, battled while on a date or, walked in the spot with my lady and, hey, here's the mic, you had to be ready in those times. It was like always be ready.
Yeah, man. Pesto, you got something?
Well, yeah, coming off of that, when do you think that went away and why? Because like it feels like that's something that's overarching, not just from, anybody that was into freestyle battling, anybody that was just really into like any part of the hip hop scene and loved all of it, kind of fawns for that era of it just being anywhere at any time.
Mhm. But it was underground. You got to think about it. Like, even though I'm saying it's 200 kids, these 200 kids are the difference. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of other kids that have no interest, in what we're doing.
Sure.
And only until like the parties started to come and people started to perform or battle, or they saw a crazy piece. You know what I mean? That's when the attention changes. But I mean, I feel with the freestyling thing, it's just because the battles came, the more commercial battles. So, your
Mm.
Blaze battles, your Red Bull battle, all the different battles of, Scribble Jam, etc. Like the point where it started to be other vehicles attaching themselves to battle rap. And then also battle rap starting to move more towards only written battles. I feel like all of that, is like breaking in the 80s, when it became where it was in every commercial. And then people, some people stopped breaking. Chicago, we kept breaking. But, some people put it down. It's the same kind of thing,
I suppose,
it's
yeah.
too accessible, And then also I think like the other part of it, because a lot of us we're freestyling outside, so then we could sell our CDs or tapes, after we're done freestyling. And the bombardment of people coming with CDRs and other people just figuring out, oh, I could sell this burnt CD for this amount of money. It kind of killed all of it.
Mm.
But it still goes on. I mean, out here you have trying to think what's the name of that crew. The Great Thinkers. They do like a freestyle joint. I think it's once a month, and they pick a different venue or they'll be in a different city, and it's kind of the old school, just pass the mic around, and it's just beats going,
That's
but
dope.
in a proper venue, yeah, real loose. And then also here we had Subterranean, the longest running open mic,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you could get it in on a Tuesday there. Now that their joints like floating to different venues. But I just think the commercialism of it, and I mean everything has to grow. But yeah, I think it kind of murdered it. Because I mean for
Yeah.
me it made it not as much fun.
Yeah. I feel that. Yeah, the 606 is always was always dope, man. I've done it a whole bunch of times, and that always felt like like that era still being there. You know what I'm saying?
Did they stop doing that?
Well, it's like he
It's
said. Now
floating now. It's like
now
in
it's like
different spots.
floating in different venues. It's not just at Sub T anymore, but it's like floating. And I don't even think they still do it on just Tuesdays now. Don't they do like?
Yeah. It's like Tuesdays, and I think they do some Wednesday stuff too. The 606 crew, but they don't do anything at Subterranean anymore. But it's a new open mic starting up there soon though. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I did bring Pestilence out there towards the end of them doing Sub T weekly, and I played the 24th anniversary joint,
Mm-hmm.
like right before the 25-year one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, you used to host a radio show. What was that? Was at University of Chicago, right? Not sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's still going. It was like maybe the 22nd year, 23rd year, one of them.
So you
It's a long
still
time
host it
ago.
now to this day.
I mean, I do the Instagram right now just because my schedule is pretty hectic. But Kevin Maxey, who I started the show with, he still does the show on a regular basis. I just maintain the Instagram and post, everybody's music.
That's what's up, man. Taking you back to
Oh,
that site.
hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, yeah. What's up, Pestilence? For real, dog?
What up?
Plague Daddy, bro.
Yeah, dude. I put it because I was like, man, if Danku introduces me this way, sometimes I can catch you where you're reading the name and you didn't read it yet. And I was like, it'd be real funny to have him say, "My homie Plague Daddy."
Yeah, I was not gonna do. I saw it, but I was not gonna do.
I knew you were. I saw you see it and be like, pestilence.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
No, man. Right when I was about to get on, that's when didn't do shit all day, and then fucking right when I was about to get on, everybody tried to get a hold of me. I'm like,
Oh
what
yeah.
the fuck?
That's why you got the mask on. You like, they can't see me right now.
Oh no, I've always had this on.
I'm joking with you. I'm joking with you. Yeah, but what were you about to ask me?
I was gonna ask you, taking it back to the cipher era, the battle era. Uh, is there a random battle during that time that might stand out to you, or was it all Chicago cats usually? Like, did you ever one-on-one battle like Juice?
Nah, I mean, the first time I rapped with Juice, it was like a cypher maybe with me, him, this guy, Moss, and maybe, hmm, can't remember who else. But Juice was a different type of cat. Like, he didn't come at me, you know what I mean, in that way. We just like clicked. First time I got to rap with him, we clicked. First time I went to the studio with him, we clicked, and we were just always cool. Now, me and Ronfest, we would, go back and forth sometimes when we were younger at the point. And the thing about the point, everybody battled every Thursday. So it was always like a loose cipher where eventually it's going to get to that who's going to be, the person to do it. But I mean, you're talking like from about 96 to about maybe 98, 99. Like I was super like battle anybody. We're going to every high school, going to every college campus. We're on different people's radio shows, just going for it.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've had that experience?
Uh, man, I mean, any day here. My son, he raps sometimes, so he'll come at me. It's
So it
funny.
still
He's
happens with
super
you and
funny.
the crew.
Super funny, man. Super funny. But I don't know, man. Like, it's a certain mindset you gotta have in that, And I mean, for a time, I definitely had that, and that's all I really cared about. Didn't really enjoy writing songs. I would even freestyle a lot of songs,
Hmm.
I mean, probably my best moment in freestyling was at Loyola's radio station, and we had just got back from Scribble Jam in '96, I think it was. So like that August or
Oh, that was
whatever.
the first one. 96
Nah,
was,
thought they did 95 too. No.
I think 96 was the first one where they did
Okay.
like where well, at least where the battles documented, like where they
Okay.
started doing the videos.
Okay. So
96.
what year is the Eminem?
That was 97. So 96, I heard Vendetta won 96.
Okay.
That's
So no. So then it's 90. It's 98. That's when it happened. This freestyle I'm talking about. So in '98, we come back for Scribble Jam. First time we went because we saw the video of Fest and Juice crushing everything, moving. And the host, he said, "Man, so how was it?" And I literally just freestyled our whole trip from getting on the Amtrak to getting in the car to going and seeing all the different people battle, do some clips, et cetera, et cetera. Idea, just really the whole story. And like eventually put that freestyle on an album. under this song called Scribbling, and that became like such a big record for me off like my first solo album.
That's dope, man. There's a lot of history there. So did you when you went out to scribble, did you end up painting too since you do art like that? Like you're a graph head too? Did you end up painting any of the walls there?
Nah. At that one, we were just coming to sell tapes. That's what we were coming to do. We were coming to battle everybody in the parking lot, in front of the walls, behind the walls, in the club, outside the club. We just came to rap. I mean, literally, by the time we got to the battles, I think we were all just tired because I mean, we had rapped the whole way there. We had rapped from that Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Just every moment of it was just to get out there and see, where our swords would go.
Yeah, and that's what Scribble Jam was, man. I feel like even though I didn't go in those early years, I think the first year
Mm.
I went was when Juice and Rhymefest came out together, and then
Yeah, I wish I could have went to that. I really do. Because at that point in time, I was a little cooler with Ron Fest. Because I think I'm trying to remember how I met him, but I met him and he would just we chat on the phone. He'll play me different people's stuff and really just let me know what was cracking, who to look out for.
yeah, and I was super cool with Juice at that point because I had
Mm.
like me and Juice go back to about like maybe oh 01, oh 02, something like that, and then
Oh yeah,
like
okay.
we were cool um in oh 03 at Scribble when I saw him, and he already knew who I was, and we
Mm.
actually had Juice on the podcast talking about this shit, like, and yeah, I've been cool with him for a long time, and he actually just did he just did a verse for me for my Fredro Star produced record that I haven't dropped yet that I got to mix.
Oh word.
But yeah, we've been cool for a minute, man. But
Mm. He's a cool cat. Yeah. Yeah, we did. I think we've been on a couple songs together, but like only one record was just me and him. Most of the other times were like posse cuts.
mm,
But the song Major, I believe it's on streaming. But yeah, we both got off on that joint.
yeah, man. So how did you meet uh DJ Vadim? DJ Vadim?
I say Vadim
Vadim?
or
Yeah.
Vadim. I usually say Vadim, but people do say Vadim. I don't know. You gotta ask them which one is the right one. I think I say it the right way. But I met him. Well, the first time I thought I was going to meet him because like I had already saw this connection happening. I was working the BB account, like doing their marketing, where you drop off the records to the DJs, you put up the posters, all that stuff, and you do the tour support whenever the artist comes. And he came to Chicago, but at the time he came to Chicago, I was in Germany, so I was like, ah man, and it was in my lap and I missed it. So I paid one of my homies to work the show. One of his homies ended up recording a song with Vadim a little bit later, and I was like, ah man, I missed my chance. So that's like 2003. So in 2000, I think maybe six, I was at a music conference in New York, and a business partner slash manager at the time, Sang Yi, he was I think he saw Vadim walking out, and I saw Yara Bravo, and me and Yara Bravo just struck up a conversation. Him and Sang struck up a conversation, and we all just hit it off. And then we were like, hey, we could go to dinner, talk about making music, etc., all that stuff. So anyway, we go to dinner, and at the dinner, he's telling us about this tour, and he's like, "Yo, I think it was like 45 dates in like 50 days, or 50 days in 60 days, something crazy like that across the U.S., Canada, etc." And we're trying to pitch me to get on this tour. So it's like, I had Scion as a sponsor at the time. So that was like one feather in the hat, to make it happen. Because I mean, I would be opening for no bread, just, to be able to hit that many stages and sell the merch and all that. And I mean, for me, I've always had merch. I've always had vinyl, I've always had t-shirts and stickers and, CDs, tapes, whatever it is, got all that stuff. PugsAtomz.com. You go look at it all. But he seems down with the idea. So time passed, the tour comes up, and I do the whole tour. So I do all like 45, 50 dates. And I mean, we crush it. Like, I mean, we crush it where it's like I got the laptop on the table, showing the videos, fully merched out. And I mean, we're selling everything, as quick as we can and, getting it done. But at the end of that tour, he gave me like a beat CD with 12 records. And I recorded probably like to almost every record that was on that CD because I was like, this gotta happen. I feel like this is it. And mind you, on that tour, he kept telling me like, man, you gotta come overseas, and I was just like, can't do it right now because I had like a teaching gig that I took a absence from to do the tour.
Mm.
So he picked like probably the majority of like the records from there, and those all came out, with stuff with the electric, stuff with just him, stuff with just me and him, etc. And, I was just like, that's crazy, all those work. But he had got eye cancer in the midst of me recording all these songs. So I didn't even think, anything else was going to happen. I was like, dang, that's messed up, So maybe 6 months, a year passed. And he just hit me at random, was like, hey, man, what do you think about coming to Russia and to the UK to do some shows? And I'm like, sign me up, let's go. So we did that first tour, and it was like maybe 6 shows, 3 shows each place. And at the end of that tour, we started to, make music as the group of touring artists that came for his Soundcatcher album. And we all felt the chemistry. So like Sabra Jade, she was from London, and then Steve Keys, the Jamaican UK keyboard player, producer. I mean, nasty with it, nasty with it. But we all hit it off, and we're starting to make skeletons of the music that we will make as the electric. So I was just like, we should be a group. I just was like, threw it out, and we gradually got to it, and then my time coming back to Chicago just started to become lesser and lesser. So, before it'd be like maybe a month I'll be home, then it was like maybe a week I'll be home. Then it was just like, man, I should move to London. Like this don't make sense, flying back and forth when everybody else lives in London. And, that's like a central spot to go to China, to go, to any other country.
Mm-hmm.
So I make the move there, and I stay there for about 3 years, man, just mashing out, man, touring and, living your dream, seeing, all the things you thought weren't possible or were possible. It was amazing, amazing times.
Yeah, I saw on the when I was reading about it, uh it was like saying you damn near did like 2 full years of just
Yeah, we're
almost
just on the road. That's
nonstop
it. Just
touring.
touring. Yeah, because Vadim don't
Crazy,
never
bro.
stop touring. He's still touring right now. Like he just
I I mean, I'm booking my 21st national tour right now, and I'm happy about it doing it independently like that. But hearing shit like that, how do you even? I mean, as I've gotten older, I've had to figure out remedies of how to keep my voice straight for doing 17 to 20 days without losing my voice shit. How do you do a 2 year long type of tour shit without losing your voice, bro? I don't, that's crazy to me.
gotta be careful. You gotta drink a lot of orange juice, gotta drink tea. But no, I mean, just gotta be mindful of it. But I mean, again, man, I came to do it. And also, I mean, I was used to doing like a lot of shows. Because I mean, even, here in Chicago was a point where it's like almost any show, House of Blues, Metro, I was on that bill. You know what I mean? And it'd be any kind of artist. Sometimes it'd be an hour to open, half an hour to open, 15 minutes to open, but being ready for that, you know?
Yeah.
And
It's
I mean,
crazy. It's crazy you talk. It stems back to 2003. And I got a beat from DJ I'll say, like you said, DJ Vadim. I got a beat from him in '03. That's on my album, my first solo album I ever put out. Um, so it's just a crazy time thing. Like when we talk time periods. But
mhm.
that's super dope, man. Pesto, you got something?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of history stuff. What have you been on? What have you been on recently? I know you said that you're like pretty busy. You're doing the Instagram for the radio show. What are your other like focuses at the current time?
Well, still putting out visuals from my last album, Mookie on the South Side, produced by Catch 22 and DJ Row One. A lot of features. Just had like two records for Speaks Beats out in Australia for his I want to say rooftop, but it's not rooftop. But his record that just came out a little bit ago and did like one visual for that. Shooting, directing music videos for a lot of different artists out here. Did a large scale sculpture recently for the Whitney M. Young Library out here. Um, Managing a bunch of different like community art projects. Um, Wrote a book about my crew, the Nacrobats. Put out my first art book. Released a bunch of art toys. Made a bunch of different clothing. Designed up a bunch of different brands. Man, a lot of stuff, bro.
Did
A
you
lot
say
of stuff.
art toys?
Yeah. If you go to my website, you can see the most recent one called Back On. Yeah, this is like
Huh.
my fifth one. Yeah,
That's dope because I'm a super crazy toy collector, kind of.
said
Like
kind
Kinda.
of.
I,
Super crazy, kinda.
I,
He
well,
said he could jump out the window. That's what he's saying. He
Yeah,
said he could go. He could go. It all
yeah, yeah.
depends.
I always liked uh different toy stuff like in the realm, like, but I didn't start collecting really until again the pandemic shit. I don't even know what it's like when that happened. It like did
It had time.
this weird thing to where I just started doing shit that I wanted to do but never did, and then I just started doing it during that time period. And
He
then
said,
like
man,
now, and now I'm at that thing where like if I lifted
Every
the
time you every time you come to the record
it's
store, you're buying
bad.
another
It's
toy.
terrible. If I lifted the camera up, you'd see like this whole collection of shit. And then, I had to get I definitely had to get the Dilla joint. I had to get the Dilla joint.
okay.
But like I got like I got some I mean, if you're in the art realm, you might know the dude that does the dude that runs Concrete Jungle.
I
He,
know who it is, but I don't know him personally.
he
Yeah.
does like the hip hop sculptures or whatever.
He's
Like I
dope.
got I mean I got two of those joints. I mean,
Oh, okay. So you got a collection. You got a
I got
collection.
a little collection of shit. Yeah, man. I don't know, it was just that turning point that made me dive into that shit, man. Um
I mean, it's a good time to do it just because it's like way more options.
yeah.
You could
I,
find pretty much anything at this point. People are making everything, 3D printing and all that.
so you're still very out there in the community from way back until now. Um talk a little bit about those the art centers. You help orchestrate and run the art center? Is that what it is?
Back in the day, I used to teach at one, and I was like a student. I was a docent. I was a framer. I was a hanger, like all that kind of stuff in my teens, early 20s. And then right now, I'm co-founder of the Inglewood Arts Collective. So we're like a
Mm.
floating collective that transforms everything from like vacant storefronts to populating stores and abandoned spaces to large scale murals to sculpture to we do love drops every Valentine's Day where we give out a range for everything from 50, 100, 5,000 to different artists just to keep doing what they're doing. I do stuff with the Department of Cultural Affairs out here. I mean, just the full gamut. Yeah.
That's dope, man. Um, yeah, when you were talking about the London, living in London for 3 years, uh, I had read the segment that said that being out there kind of got you into the fashion realm, the fashion world. Uh,
Well, it made it a little more touchable. You know what I mean? Because before that, I was interning with a brand out here called Afrowear, and like they had
mm,
like the baseball hats that were on Martin and other TV shows at that time. This cat, DJ Mustafa Rocks, like he's like goated, was getting it early '90s. He was getting it, man. But through them, I got to design. The biggest thing I got to design were these two fitteds for American Needle. It was like a couple different Malcolm X fitteds and a couple Red Fox fitteds, and like they had made it, all over the world, man. Like it was
mm.
crazy to see people sending me pictures of the hat. You know what I mean? And it was like my first, like first time on Hype Beast was something I made, man. That was super big. But anyway, after that. I went over to there and got to just see it up close. Like my flatmate Paz Dean, he's like a street style photographer. He introduced me to a lot of different people on Seville Road, to the different streetwear brands, to Wale's B-side, who was knighted by the Queen for fashion. And like Wale, he had like stores, he had factory, like he just really let me see a lot of things to make me see that you could do it. And when I moved back to Chicago, I started working with this brand called Iridium Clothing. They had been around since I think 2007. I jumped down about 2013, and then we opened a store right across from Macy's downtown, and that store's still going. And at that brand, like I got to throw my first fashion shows. I got to, man, I made so many different pieces of clothing, coats, jackets, ponchos, the whole nine. Dressing artists, dressing TV shows, dressing movies. It was just, man, it was just like, again, like kind of how the London thing was. Everything I thought or didn't think I got to do, magical, man, magical.
Yeah, crazy.
Shop with them, man. They still going. Shop with them. Iridium Clothing Co.
That's super dope, man. You got a crazy ass tour story from your. I mean, clearly you have a lot of them because you toured for damn near 2 years straight, and you were touring even before that. You got a standout. Okay, how about this? Can you give me a standout moment that you loved from touring and a standout moment that you hated from touring?
Hmm. Okay. Let's see. One of the moments I love, probably the first time I played Nouveau Casino in Paris. I actually made the EP because that moment was so magical. And then I got to come back, and do it with Vadim and the crew. And that was like, bananas. I mean, crowd surfing, sold out venue. Both times was sold out, but the first time it was my homie Taiwan. He had got signed to Hong Kong Recordings in 2002. So 2003, the album comes out. He's going to do a tour of Germany, UK, and some other places along the way. And he just said, "Hey, man, you want to go? It's only $444." That was like the craziest number, craziest price. And it was way cheaper than I thought it would cost for me to go do that. For like, I think we were out there maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something like that. So anyway, towards the end of the tour, we play Nouveau Casino, and they give us like an hour to rock, man. And I was just like, an hour to open? That's crazy, And I mean, we threw every record, freestyle, we sold all our merch, but the crowd was just amazing. And then we had like a dinner in the venue before. So it was just, and then we went to like the pirate radio station there. And then we did like a photo shoot on the roof with some magazine. Like, I mean, it was just like, again, everything you thought and everything you didn't think, happening. And then to be able to come back and duplicate that a few times was, man, meant the world. But that venue definitely stole a piece of my heart, man. That was like, But let's see, the worst is probably the traveling part of it. Like I think like the craziest one was flying from, I think we flew from Russia to China. And it was just like a dead, like, man, just you just on fumes, you know what I mean? And then it's
Yeah,
like at the both of the airports was like it was just super quiet because we're leaving at odd times, you know what I mean? So there's no vibes, you
yeah,
know. Yeah, yeah, but just the gruelingness of that, I will say, it does take a toll, and not seeing your peoples. your family, that part definitely gets hard at times. You know what I mean? Because this is like the beginning of the internet being way more accessible. So it's like you're starting to see moments that you're missing, and I think what were we doing at that time? What was the video conference joint? What was that?
Hey, well,
Oh, you said no, not AOL. Well, AOL was going. I hated AOL, so I never did it. But the other one, Skype. Yeah,
Skype.
Skyping. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, Skyping my life away.
Yeah, touring's definitely not for everybody, man. I've told a lot of people that I've come across that ask about touring, and I tell them, well, it's not for everybody.
Hmm.
It's something I think every artist should try at least once. I definitely think every artist should try it at least one time to see if it's for them. Um, but it's definitely some grueling shit. I mean, I've never done like crazy lengths like you've done, but
Hmm.
I mean, I've done, 16, 20 days, like show every day type shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Driving
but I mean
places.
that was part of the grind. I mean, like before I did all that, I mean, we were leaving Illinois, man, like at least 2, 3 times a month to go somewhere. And then we were playing all the colleges all the time. So I mean, it was just part of the thing. And then here in the city, like with the Nacrobats crew, I mean, we would be playing like 2 shows one night regularly. You know what I mean? And then all the members, had their own shows and the guest appearance, and it's like a lifestyle. But I mean, I love the stage. I'm not gonna ever not say that, man. Like
Oh yeah.
performing definitely is fun to me, and I definitely, have tried to maximize the enjoyment, of doing it.
Do you think there ever be a time where there's artists, you see it all the time, where artists get to a point, but where they're like talking retirement or stopping doing the shit. But I feel like you've done so
No,
much
that's
in your
never
career,
never been my thing. That's never
and
been
and
my
and,
thing.
that,
I
and that's
just
what I'm
keep
saying.
going till I can't go.
I feel like you've done so much in your career of doing music that you probably won't have to stop. You'll probably be able to continue to do shit, get booked for shit, make new shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like just
Also, too, it's kind of like for me in this time, all the things I do have finally came together, and I'm starting to be able to present all this stuff at the same time. So I think I could do that forever. Where it's the art and the music are all intertwining.
that's dope, man. Pest, you got something?
Shit, man. I'm gonna ask you the Danku question. What? Because you've been fucking everywhere. You've been all over the world. What is your favorite food spot? Like, is there one that stands out, or a country or a place that food was the best?
Best, let's see. Well, obviously, Indian food in London. Oh my gosh, so many great moments with that. My goodness, my goodness. But favorite. Let me think. What's like favorite meal? Probably in Budapest. Yeah, I'll probably say in Budapest. Before the concert, and it was during like the race, the big race out there. And we went to this restaurant, and I think I ordered salmon, and they didn't bring me salmon. They brought me chicken, and I ate the chicken. The chicken was very good. It was amazing, and a lot of champagne, etc. But anyway, I was, told the promoter, I was like, hey, I ordered salmon. I really didn't want chicken. They cooked me a whole salmon, bring that joint out. So fire. Oh my God, so fire. I barely was able to move on stage, man. It took a lot.
It's yeah, man. Man. See, I haven't gotten to experience the overseasness yet. I've been have my passport.
Yeah, you just gotta go though, man. Like, I mean, the thing I do tell a lot of artists is in the beginning of it, just go. Like, if I didn't go that first time with Taiwan on his thing on my own dime, I wouldn't have figured out other ways and how to capitalize when I went back, you know?
Hmm.
Because I mean, my first, month in London, I'm doing every freestyle video show, every radio, I'm trying to be on remixes, whatever, I mean, trying to plant my flag.
Okay, so Pest hit you with that best meal ever. I gotta hit you with this joint then because you grew up in Chicago. You're still there right now, even though you lived in London. You come back home base. Best food spot in Chicago now and and back in a day that doesn't exist no more.
Like
Best spot.
back in the day, like in the 2000s, I would say MacArthur's. That was my favorite back then. Now, let's see, pizza, I'll probably say Italian Fiesta, Illuminati's. If you're talking like Italian dinner, I would say, what's that joint? It's off the river. I want freezing, freezing. Um, what would I say? Like my favorite food. Let me see. I want to pronounce it right. Oh no, I want to mess it up. But they got amazing tapas. Oh man, I love tapas. Big tapa guy. What's this called? Oh, Boqueria. Yeah, Boqueria. I think that's the name of the spot. And in the West Loop, man. Bring your lady with you.
That's what's up, man.
So fire, man. And they got like a tasting menu where they bring you like two of each thing. Ah, so good.
Oh,
I
that
think I've
sounds
probably been
crazy.
there a good 10 times. Yeah.
That's
Dang.
what's up, man. That's what's up.
Potatoes bravas. Fire.
Pass, you got one last question for Pugs before we let him on his way, bro?
Uh, are you still doing international shit now, or have you kind of planted yourself back for the time being?
Right now I do a lot of records out there, but I haven't been out there in a bit. But I mean, I'm sure I'll get back to it in a minute or so. Yeah, because my son's getting older, so it's about time for him to see that, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the same thing for Denku in a lot of the cases, is, he's got the daughters, so it's, the kids are priority. You gotta make sure you're there to take care of the kids. So it's kind of hard to go to another country and do that from over there as well until they get older, and you can either bring them with or,
Yeah,
they're
make it a
solid
little
on
more
their own.
manageable. Yeah, make it a
Yeah.
little more manageable so you don't miss too many moments, you know. But for the first question you asked, you want to go to pugsatoms.com or to Bandcamp and purchase, play, your choice, playing with matches. And it's all there, man. From the first time I got into graffiti to the movie to, moving past that. It's all there.
Dope, man.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so you wear many hats in the game, in the creative game, in the art game, in the music game. What is something that you would pass on to? Well, clearly you have your son. What's something you would pass on to someone growing up? I mean, you're in the community. You talk to the kids. You work with the youth as well. What's something you would pass on to someone growing up that wants to get involved uh, in a creative state, whether it's art, music, fashion, anything?
That you don't always have to know how to do it. You can learn how to do it while you're doing it, you know. I learned how to do so many things because, a lot of times I'll be like, I'll figure it out, but I'm not going to let this opportunity pass me, you know. Because you could always make it better. But if you don't make it, you never can make it better.
Mm. There it is, man. Beautiful, man. I appreciate you being on the podcast, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thanks for
like he,
having me, man.
like he said, make sure you go to Pugs Atoms, pugsatoms.com.
Yep.
Go check all
See
that
it all,
out.
man. Go look at all the murals. I got like a virtual art gallery on there. I got all the different clothes I make. Got blog, bunch of music videos, some of the short documentaries I do. All that stuff's on there, man. Take
Yeah,
a
man.
deep dive.
Definitely dive in, man. This has been the CyphaDen Chats. I'm your host, Tayamu Denku. That's the homie Pestilence. Tonight we had special guest Pugs Atomz. This has been presented by CyphaDen Music, where we inspire even those higher. And remember to never stop chasing your dreams, because you will never know what you are fully capable of.
Let them know. Let them know.
Don't leave it like that, man. I appreciate you to the fullest, bro. Be in touch,
brother.
man.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
Take care, y'all.
Peace, bro.
Peace.